Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to NW Farms. It's March the 4th, Monday night. I came in from work from a public job, and I'm going to try to service this 4230. Go ahead and change the oil in it, change the oil filter in preparation of hopefully getting home early enough tomorrow afternoon to grind another load of feed. And so more than likely, next video you'll see will be grinding feed again. Right now, the farm is extremely wet. We got rain started last week. Actually started earlier in the week last week, the week before. After I spread the chicken litter that was in that last video that you watched, it went to raining the next day, and it's rained on and off for the last couple of days. Sorry about the little break in the videos there too. One, because it was cold and rainy, and then two, last week I wound up a little bit under the weather, so I didn't really feel like filming anything and dealing with this kind of stuff. So back at it this week. Until things dry out around here, you're probably going to get to see a lot more repair videos. But as soon as we get the fields dry enough to do something back out in the fields, we'll start back. So this tractor is the same tractor we replaced all the fuel filter lines on here a couple weeks ago. And so we're going to go ahead. Like I said in that video, I had not serviced the engine oil on this tractor. I pulled the dipstick out the other day, and it was on the low mark. Needed to either put engine oil in it or drain the oil out, put fresh oil in it. So instead of putting brand new oil in the used oil in this tractor, I decided to just go ahead and service the tractor since it hadn't been serviced. So we got everything that we need. We picked up a Napa Gold filter. It's part number 1758. And then we got 5 gallons Dello 41540 behind me here on the ground that we're going to put back in this tractor. So I'm going to move y'all around, set you up, try to set you up where you can see something besides the back of my bald head. In the last video, I seen where my head was shining more than what I was trying to work on. So still trying to get the hang of that kind of stuff. So let me set y'all down here and get you a little closer view. Okay, so you can see the old drain plug there. I actually have not ran this tractor today, but it has been plugged up on the block heater to make it a little easier to start. So the engine oil pan and stuff is hot to the touch because it has been plugged up several days. So we should be in good shape there. Got us a funnel. We're going to try to catch this oil as it comes out of here. So you gotta takes an 1¼ wrench to take the drain plug loose. Now the trick will be taking this drain plug loose without dropping it in the bucket and plugging it up and then flooding it and making a mess. I know how much oil is in this one. Unlike on the spray coupe hydraulic tank last time we did anything like this. So I'm going to try not to have that much of a mess again. We're going to though. Get this funnel a little bit. Trying to kind of step out here. One of the guys that works with me burns motor oil, so it's heat for his house. I'm trying not to have to dump this out of another bucket into this bucket. Gotta drain out there just a minute. Alright, we'll leave that down there draining. While that's draining, we'll come up here and try to make us another mess. Next thing we need to do is take oil filter off of the tractor. I'll probably just put this bucket over here. Man. I don't know who serviced this thing, but it must have been a gorilla. I get a hammer and tap on it. I don't want to have to do that. So this is an oil filter housing drain is what it is. And I don't know that it's ever been off. Because all she just did right there was just rounded her off. Yep. Bigger filter wrench. Ain't gonna need no filter wrench. That filter was put on right. This is gonna make an absolute mess now. So this guy right here is made to where, see, yeah. This guy here is made to drain the oil filter out. And it actually drains right in here. This is going to be full of oil. So usually if you can take this guy out, it'll drain the remaining oil in the canister and out of this out into a bucket. Some of these 4 Series tractors you see, they'll put like a 3-inch pipe on them, and they even put a ball valve or something on them to where they can just quickly drain them. But this tractor's not set up that way. And whoever has put this in before I got this tractor has either cross-threaded it or extremely over-tightened it. If we can do this, catch a majority of it. One of those deals, it just makes a big old mess. Always be sure you get the O-ring off of it. This always brings up a big topic here about pre-filling oil filters. Of course, on this one you can't do that, but that's always a big debate on: do you pre-fill oil filters? Do you not pre-fill oil filters? Should I pre-fill oil filters? And what people are talking about there is should you put oil in the oil filters? Um, you hear all kinds of reasons why you should do that, but honestly, I I will pre-fill an oil filter if it's where you can and the oil filter is going straight up. Um, if it's something like this, no, there's no way to pre-fill this oil filter, so I am not going to pre-fill it. Theoretically, if whenever you go to spinning the engine over, the right thing to do would be in a situation like this where you have mechanical stop, pull the mechanical stop out so the engine wouldn't run, but you could just continue to spin the engine over and let the oil pump pick the oil back up and go ahead and prime the system back up. But if that's not an option, yeah, there is a split second that it might run dry, but usually as soon as that oil pump starts spinning, it's going to suck oil. And there should be enough residual oil on the bearings and stuff to maybe keep them coated well enough to where they're not going to cause any problems. But you can yell and scream and holler and say whatever you want to. That's one of those things. That's a great debate among people in our industry and in any automotive diesel industry. But people put them up for years dry, and I don't know that it really caused any problems. So. This guy right here is a real fun thing to deal with too, because he actually goes up in there. We're going to need a little dab of oil to put on him. We want to coat him with a little oil. Then we'll have to stop, put a drain plug back in. Don't want to make that mistake. I made that mistake one time as a kid. These tractors hold right at about 5 gallons of oil. When I was little, one time me and Grandpa were changing the oil in the 6200, and I might have put about 5 gallons of oil in it. And didn't realize that I had left the oil plug off. So I was putting fresh oil in the used oil tank, and we had cleaner drain plug off here. And it'll be time to start refilling her back up, and she'll be good. We service all of our equipment on a 250 hour service. We don't change oil and everything every year. Most of our tractors, the biggest part of them, are going to get less than 20 hours a year. Well, one of them, I have a M6800 Kubota that was Grandpa's that I still use, that he bought from me. And last summer alone, that tractor did all the hay mowing, and it got 40 hours of service in one summer. Um, the baling tractor and that kind of stuff was about the closest thing to it. I didn't track the hours on the baling tractor, but it's on its second year, and it's probably going to get service later, probably in the haying season this season. So, all right, get stuff moved around here, and we'll start pouring oil in. Okay, so right here is where we're going to put our oil back in the front timing cover. Pull the cap off here. Really could use a small funnel. Let me see if I can get us a funnel. Funnel's going to be a little overkill. I get our Delo 400 oil from Sam's. This was all bought last year, but last year it was cheaper to buy it, and they delivered it to the front porch steps, and it was like $15 a gallon whenever I bought it. And so that was cheaper than at all the automotive parts stores, even with my discount. So that's where I got all this from. Usually I always just picked it up a case at a time at the Napa or O'Reilly's, whichever one I was in.
We've always been a Delo 400 farm. There again, that's another big debate, whether it's Shorotella or Delo 400 or Mobile Delvac or whatever other kind, Shapers. There's all different brands. But Grandpa, he always put Delo 400 in everything, so that's what I stuck with as I got older. And I haven't seen any reason to change yet. There's cheaper options out there, but we don't have a whole lot of engine trouble out of anything that we run, so we must be doing something right. Okay, so that's 4 gallons up there. We'll give that just a minute to turn down and then hook up state.
Let me see if I got a gallon, half gallon already open in here. So I got our oil level set. See that? Maybe if I can stop moving. This is the full mark right here at the tip of my thumb. That's the low mark. So we're set about halfway in between. Probably ought to go ahead and set it at the high mark. Or actually, probably what I'm going to do is go ahead and fire this engine up, fire this tractor up, and let it fill the oil filter, and then we'll top back off because it's going to take just a little bit. So let me back you up. I'll crank the tractor up. Alright, we'll give it a minute to settle back down to the pan there. That should have filled our filter up. Cows heard the tractor crank up. They think they deserve a snack. Probably going to take about this whole gallon, fill it back up. Drop it down below the low mark. We'll probably put about half of it in, and then check it and then see if we need the other half. We'll check it after we get done grinding corn. We may wind up still having to top it off a little bit, but that'll be another project for another day. Alright, well that concludes our service on the 4230. As far as the oil change, I'll get a paint pen out, write the date, and that kind of information on this filter, so that we'll know the next time whenever it's time to change it, and go ahead and clean my mess up. It's supposed to go back to raining again tonight, so don't want any rain to get the buckets and stuff. But want to take time, thank each one of you for joining us tonight on this short video. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Maybe if you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, glad you joined us. I'm glad I could help you. But just want to take time and thank everybody for joining us. thank everybody for subscribing and liking our channel and sharing it with their friends. We broke 200 subscribers as of today, and so we're doing really good. That's pretty good, seeing as we've only been at it about a solid month. So if you're one of our returning viewers, there's a lot of you out there, according to the analytics, that are returning viewers. You either like me making a fool of myself, or you enjoy watching what's going on here. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love for you to join and be a subscriber of our channel and help our channel grow. But if you're not, you're satisfied just being a returning viewer, we're glad to have you. You don't have to subscribe. There's not any requirements to get to watch, to get to subscribe, or anything like that. So again, thank you for joining us for E&W Farms. Have a great night. See you in the next one.